What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Daryl Dixon Season 2, The Book of Carol. And this show has me having some thoughts. I can't lie because, if you haven't heard me talk about Walking Dead stuff before, I'm a huge fan. I've watched the show since Season 3, so when, 3 was coming out, that's when I started watching it, but the first two seasons were already out, and I binge-watched them on Netflix. Very vivid memories of, this show being the reason that I kind of got into more horror-type stuff, and why I started loving zombies so much, even when they freaked me the fuck out as a kid. Not joking. I'd have nightmares about Shaun of the Dead, which is a fucking comedy. My dad will make jokes to this day about that. But bottom line, I love The Walking Dead. I love the characters, and if anybody knows what the fuck these characters should be, it's me. I'm just kidding. I don't know shit. But I love a lot of these characters, and Daryl Dixon is one of them. He's one of my favorites on the show, and I was very happy how they treated his character and the journey they put him on in the first season. I thought it was pretty outside the box and interesting to put him in the situation they did, with him being stuck in France, especially after initially it was supposed to be a Daryl and Carol show, but then Melissa McBride, I believe, just kind of backed out, didn't want to do Walking Dead at that time or wanted to take a break. So they made Daryl Dixon Season 1 with just Norman Reedus, and now Season 2, you bring Melissa McBride back as Carol, and that is fantastic. I mean, she's one of my favorite characters. She still kills it. There's no drop-off or any weird thing between shows. She's still amazing. But unfortunately, I have to say that one of my big gripes with the show is actually how much Carol impedes on other people's stories. And again, it's not because I don't want to see Carol. She's one of my favorite characters, as I've said. But I had grown to love the characters from Season 1 in Daryl Dixon, and I was curious to see where they would be going, and it feels like their stories are actively hampered, other than Laurent, for the most part. He's pretty much left clean. But everybody else, I feel like their story is significantly hampered by Carol being there because, well, bottom line, Melissa McBride wanted to do it now, and you can't not bring Carol into the story, and I'm still happy that Carol's there because, again, she's fucking awesome. And I'm actually very satisfied with how they treated her character because I feel like for the longest time with The Walking Dead, once Rick left and stuff, that The Walking Dead really didn't have a main character. It would just jump around to different stories and stuff, which kind of, left some people in limbo where either they weren't doing anything or they were getting a little bit of attention or some attention. It was basically on all spectrums, but really nobody was getting the most attention. And Carol fell into that spot where, yeah, she had, focus because she was one of the OGs of the show. They're obviously going to show her going through different storylines or different relationships and stuff like that, and there were some that were pretty goddamn heavy, but it did always feel like there were certain things about her character that should have been present that weren't. And I think that Daryl Dixon Season 2 does a good job of showing us some of that stuff that maybe they just didn't have the time to show in the main Walking Dead, mainline show. So that I will praise them on like crazy, that, when they added Carol, they didn't make her a wasted character that was just purely there for nostalgia reasons or hey, it's a Walking Dead OG. It was no, she still had story to tell. But again, for me, I did say significantly hampered other people's stories. Maybe that's a little bit too far. I do think that some characters' arcs were cut a bit short because they had to put Carol in this show, and I think the direction just changed. I could be wrong. This could have been the plan from the fucking beginning. But to me, watching the show, it did feel like they were trying to write off some of the things from Season 1 and get them wrapped up so that then when they tease Season 3, which they definitely do with Season 2, this ain't it, they can have a place to go and have something to tease you with without having to worry about, 4 or 5 extra characters on the side that don't have any sort of resolution to their story and would either be forced into the next season or would just be forgotten altogether. Which, to be honest, I actually respect that direction rather than carrying on character stories for no reason that you really have no plan for. Just wrap it up. Get it done, get it moved on. Don't have it, hanging over the head or any dumb weird shit, especially with the Walking Dead fandom that makes a big noise about a character named Morales that was in the first season that people wouldn't shut the fuck up about forever until they finally put him back into the show just to get fucking killed immediately. So people would shut the fuck up. The bottom line, I like that they just, with some of these stories that they didn't really have any plans for, they just wrapped them up. That's really it. I do think it came at the expense of the fans, mainly me, in some, portion because I like some of the characters that they kind of ditched away with, and I actually thought they were some of the best characters that The Walking Dead has introduced in any of their spin-offs since the main show. But that's cool, just toss them aside, treat them like garbage. That's fine. See, this is where I have a fucking weird mixed opinion on this show because I overall think I had a great time with it, but at the same time I know that the story and the direction they went wasn't really in my head what I would have envisioned, and tough shit for me. I understand I'm not the one writing the fuck, what the hell am I saying? I'm not the one going right in the fucking thing is what I meant to say, but I just stopped at the word fuck. Anyway, though I do feel that some of the characters were treated poorly, I feel like some were treated exceptionally well. So it's kind of a mixed bag for me. Overall, though, I'd watch this over pretty much every other Walking Dead spinoff, even the ones who live, which I thought was actually really enjoyable. I still think Daryl Dixon season 2 might be better. As much as I love Rick and Michonne, Daryl and Carol, there's just something about it. I don't know. They're pretty close. I'd probably have to like really analyze to like, pick between the two, but they're pretty even for me. Overall, I think this is another successful Walking Dead spinoff for me. I mean, I think the Dead City is the weakest one, and if you're talking about all spinoffs, definitely World Beyond. But I think The Walking Dead still has enough story to tell to where the OG fans and the people that, will pay for AMC fucking Plus like I do, will watch this and will enjoy it. I'm glad the story's still going and they're finding creative ways to keep it going, even if for the longest time the whole gripe on the show was like, it's a zombie show. Everybody's either gotta die or there's gotta be some cure or something. Like, they haven't fallen into that yet, which you gotta assume at some point they're gonna have to end the shit and come up with some solution or some way to end these characters' story in a pretty, satisfying way. I hope they just go them like living out the infection and stuff like type direction, because I think that would make a lot more sense than just randomly coming up with a cure or some shit, or like some untouched piece of land. They made it pretty clear that there are some places, like in Daryl Dixon season 2 actually, that like, some places dealt with the infection better than others. So I think the direction of them like just saying that they were to outlive it and some of these characters making it till the end would be so much better. But until then, we're probably gonna have at least 17 more spinoffs and I'll probably be dead. So I don't think I'll ever see the conclusion to this shit if they keep going at this pace. But regardless, Daryl Dixon season 2 is solid, a bit of a mixed bag in certain areas, but I do feel like overall it was a very enjoyable show, especially for Walking Dead OG fans that, just really want to see Carol again, or that love Daryl because he's his normal, sassy, bitchy self, and I love it. And I don't mean bitchy as in he's constantly saying shit. He like just judges you with his eyes, and it's like, you're a bitch. Norman Reedus is fucking hilarious in this role. I don't know. I mean, there's so many times in the Walking Dead main show where he just turns mute and they don't even fucking use him, and then this show actually has him saying shit and he can say fuck because it's on AMC Plus. It's amazing. Fucking dope show. I'm glad that I ranted about it for this long. If you stayed till the end, you're a fucking trooper, because I am literally ranting into my microphone at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and just I keep going on and on and on. But bottom line, I appreciate you again if you made it this far, and that'll pretty much do it. I don't know if I kept the clip in of me saying the score. I still gotta like go back through the commentary, but if I didn't say it, I would say like this season is on the verge of the 8s, so like 7.8, 7.9, and the first season is above the 8s for me. I think it actually was solid as fuck. So I give that like an 8.2. I actually own the steelbook of it, which is a little flex for me, you know what I'm saying? But, you never know when these streaming sites are going to go down and shows just disappear, so might as well try to pick them up if you're, kind of a physical collection fiend like I am. But regardless of all that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know what you thought, and yeah, that'll be it. Peace.